If you or a loved one are struggling with type 2 diabetes, you should visit the link in the description below. This clinically proven, drug-free program lowers blood sugar to a normal level and can completely reverse type 2 diabetes within just a few weeks. Here's today's video.
The question, is there any hope that there will ever be cure for diabetes? Answer by Rajinder Bala. Today I got my first feedback from a diabetic friend. After 10 days of following drinking water with the meals and no water except with meals. No more fluids of any type. That is supposed to cure diabetes permanently in less than 6 months. It was such a silly thing for me to miss for so many years. I am hopeful that in next 6 months there will be enough evidence and support system in place to wipe out diabetes and all other diseases from the face of this earth. This logic and explanation will go a long way to cure cancer and every other disease. The details and logic of the cure is as under. Drinking water with meals can improve health in following ways. This question had troubled me for more than 15 years. I changed various formats of drinking water. The best way to drink water and other liquids is with meals. The explanation of drinking water with meals is as under. When we eat food, our stomach produces acids and other enzymes to convert the food and other liquids into a paste. This paste is passed on to small intestines. Small intestine is connected to blood veins. The minerals, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, water, enzymes and other nutrients are absorbed in small intestines and moved to liver for further processing. Liver releases enzymes. After processing in liver, the mineralized blood is sent to kidney for balancing of the minerals. Any minerals found to be out of correct proportions are filtered out. First benefit of this will be that blood volume will increase as more fluids will be absorbed with minerals in small intestines. There may not be any fluid absorption in the absence of acids in small intestine when water is taken on empty stomach. That should help cure varicose veins problem. It should also help improve the skin. It should remove the dark eye spots and improve eyesight. It can improve cataract as well. It can prevent prostate cancer as well. There are 1,000 of possibilities. Weight loss. When we drink water or any other liquid after more than 20 minutes after a meal, the water and other liquids are not absorbed in small intestines, in the absence of stomach acids. Stomach acids are produced only in response to food and not in response to water and other liquids. The liquids and water are passed on the large intestines. In large intestines also the excess water and vitamins are absorbed. However, the large intestine does not absorb any minerals, carbohydrates, fats and proteins. This water is passed on to intracellular fluids. No processing is done by liver and kidneys. This is kind of direct reach to the body fluids which are passed on to cells. Over a period of time, the intracellular fluids around the large intestines become devoid of most of the minerals and glucose. These fluids are also stripped off the essential glucose. In the absence of glucose, the metabolic rate falls, which causes increase in blood sugar to compensate for the lack of glucose in intracellular fluids. Not drinking any fluids except with meals will dehydrate the large intestine and surrounding areas of excess fluids. This will result in increase in metabolic rate. It will also help reduce intracellular water and interstitial fluids. Average total intracellular fluid makes up about 30 to 50 liters of fluid. That means a loss of 5 liters of intracellular fluid can be brought in about 30 days. That is the fastest and safest weight loss that is possible. The excess water reaching in large intestine is the cause for prostate problems. Read my blog for detailed explanation about the role of fluids in our body. Sugar intake. Due to low metabolic rate, the body is not able to use sugar effective. Any spike in sugar will cause inflammation and lower the metabolic rate, so we need to maintain steady flow of glucose to the cells. Take 12 small spoons of sugar every 1 or 2 hours. That will help in stabilizing the blood glucose and improve the metabolic rate. It will also help in increasing stamina. It will also help in reducing cramps and body pain. My blog in brief. Chronic mineral imbalance in blood leads to low metabolic rate, resulting in aging and age-related diseases like blood sugar, blood pressure and heart disease, etc. To correct mineral imbalance, do hydration-dehydration cycles, and to increase resting metabolic rate, do walking and rest routines as detailed on my blog. Read my blog for more details or watch my YouTube videos at Rajinder Bala. To increase resting metabolic rate, RMR, do the following. Walk for 5 minutes at easy pace within your home in the morning. After walking, rest for 5 minutes in bed. Repeat the above 3 times in the morning, afternoon, evening and at night before sleeping. So that makes for 12 walk and rest routines, or 5 by 12 equals 60 minutes of walk for the entire period. One can do it selectively during weekdays and on working days only in the morning and at night. The idea about walking is that it mobilizes energy, and before the entire mobilized energy is spent, we rest. In such a case, a part of the mobilized energy becomes available for vital organs. Walk and rest routines take care of aging-related diseases as well. Hydration-dehydration cycles. Low metabolic rate results in lesser energy for heart and kidneys, causing fluid buildup and weight gain. Doing hydration-dehydration cycles will eliminate excess fluid buildup in the body. Day 1 to 8, drink 150 plus 200 milliliter water with every meal. Total fluids intake on these days should not exceed 500 to 600 milliliters. Day 9, drink 150 to 200 milliliters water every hour from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Day 10, do not drink any fluid for the entire day. Also read my blog for detailed explanation of how the above steps ensure perfect health. Answer by Jessica Spitty. A ketogenic diet for diabetic has many benefits for people with diabetes. Ketogenic diet is a very low-carb diet, considered to be when you eat a level of carbohydrate of around 30 grams of carbohydrates per day or below. This encourages the body to get its energy from burning body fat, which produces an energy source known as ketones. Ketogenic diet for diabetic helps to lower the body's demand for insulin, which has benefits for people with type 1 and. Diet works on a ketogenic diet. Blood glucose levels are kept at a low but healthy level, which encourages the body to break down fat into a fuel source known as ketones. People on insulin will typically require smaller doses of insulin, which leads to less risk of large dosing errors. The diet helps burn body fat. The most common cause of type 2 diabetes is obesity-related, which generally follows a vicious cycle pattern. Diet high in calories, particularly if high in refined carbohydrates. Insulin levels in the bloodstream rise to cope with the high and quick-acting carb intake. Weight is gained around the belly, central or truncal obesity. Consistently high insulin levels lead to the body cells becoming resistant to insulin and while lead to weight gain. High insulin levels also increase weight gain. Insulin resistance leads to an increase in blood sugar levels, particularly after meals. A pancreas produces more insulin to cope with rising blood sugar levels. High sugar levels lead to feelings of lethargy, and high insulin levels lead to increased hunger. Hunger often leads to overeating and lethargy, with less physical activity being taken. Overeating, less activity, and high insulin levels all lead to further weight gain and more insulin resistance. Consistently high demand on the pancreas to produce extra insulin leads to damage of the pancreas insulin-producing beta cells. Beta cell damage results in the body struggling to produce enough insulin, and steeper rises in blood sugar levels leads to more recognizable symptoms of diabetes. Symptoms of diabetes, such as thirst and a frequent need to urinate. Many people with type 2 diabetes are overweight, so a high-fat diet can seem unhelpful. The goal of the ketogenic diet is to have the body use fat for energy instead of carbohydrates or glucose. A person on the keto diet gets most of their energy from fat, with very little of the diet coming from carbohydrates. A ketogenic diet doesn't mean you should load up on saturated fats, though. Hard healthy fats are the key to sustaining overall health. Some healthy foods that are commonly eaten in the ketogenic diet include eggs, fish such as salmon, cottage cheese, avocado, olives and olive oil, nuts and nut butter seeds. Effects on blood glucose. The ketogenic diet has the potential to decrease blood glucose levels. Managing carbohydrate intake is often recommended for people with type 2 diabetes because carbohydrates turn to sugar and, in large quantities, can cause blood sugar spikes. If you already have high blood glucose, then eating too many carbs can be dangerous. By switching the focus to fat, some people experience reduced blood sugar. A ketogenic diet can be beneficial for type 2 diabetics, but is not recommended for type I diabetics, due to the increased risk of developing a life-threatening condition called diabetic ketoacidosis, DKA, IWO. ULD not recommend going keto without supervision by a physician or registered dietitian, especially if you're on an insulin regimen. That being said, restricting dietary carbohydrates can improve insulin levels and promote normoglycemia. Part of this is due to the removal of the typical foods that cause a spike in glucose and insulin, such as simple carbohydrates and sweeteners. The benefits are also due to the weight loss that usually accompanies a ketogenic diet. Overall, I recommend a low-carbohydrate diet for diabetic blood sugar control, but not as extreme as the ketogenic's limit of 30 carbohydrates per day. Answer by Atul Sehgal. Diabetes is a systemic, metabolic, disorder and has been pronounced incurable even by the ancient experts of Ayurvedic medicine who were real masters of the science. However, the definition of diabetes of the ancient physicians says that the person should be passing sugar in the urine to be called diabetic. Diabetes can be prevented and controlled. Some physicians of the modern times who have done some new experiments/research claim that diabetes can be cured. This does not appear to be correct. With proper dietary and other lifestyle regimen, it can be controlled. For greater information and knowledge on the subject, please visit the sections whose links are given at footnote. Causes of diabetes. Diabetes control of blood sugar level.